Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to take a look at the Dragonflight UI, the brand new UI, which is coming to the game in the Dragonflight pre-patch, presumably on October 25th. So yeah, we're going to go through all the functionality. It's finally done, I guess. There is some stuff that's still missing, but we are going to look at everything you can do with this brand new UI. And it is pretty cool, especially the edit mode. But before we jump into all of that, guys, I just want to shout out my Twitch, twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me stream World of Warcraft, Dragonflight Alpha, Beta, Wrath Lich King Classic, and more, over on twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. Right, so yes, I kind of held off on this video for probably too long, to be honest. You guys have probably already seen it. But they have finally pretty much completed the UI. This is the release candidate of the pre-patch, so presumably there's not going to be any major changes. However, there is two things which are kind of missing from the UI editor, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But this is essentially the UI that you're going to get when the pre-patch launches, and as you can see, there's some pretty major changes from the get-go, including griffins. Now, the griffins are alliance only. On the horde, you actually have wyverns instead, and that can be turned off, which I'll show in a minute, but that is kind of going to be your standard thing depending on if you're alliance or horde. Another obvious thing is the nameplates. Yes, the nameplates have had a major update here. As you can see, they have a kind of like new, fresh, clean look to them, with your level in the top right, your name on the left, obviously your power bars and things like that. If you're a Death Knight or a monk or something like that, you'll obviously have your extra kind of power below that as well, and the portrait's looking pretty clean, as well as this little Z animation, which is pretty cool. You get that if you're in a rested area. So let's take a look at the most important part of this UI, and that is essentially the edit mode. Now, the edit mode is pretty awesome, right? This is something that is in a lot of other MMOs as well, and is finally coming to WoW. As default, I literally have no add-ons on this character right now, so everything you're seeing is default in the game. You do not need any add-ons for this. So as mentioned, this is kind of going to be what your UI looks like when you log in. This is one of the default layouts. This is called Modern. You can go back to a classic look in regards to the positioning. So you'll see the names will go up in the top left with the focus frame there. But you cannot go back to the original design of the classic UI. Now, no doubt someone's working on an add-on to get that if you want that. But this is the change that you're going to get by default when you log in, and this is not changeable. But as mentioned, there are default kind of positions for modern, and this is kind of their modern look, I guess their modern positioning of the nameplates, and of course the classic look. Now, you can import UIs, so if someone has a UI that you like a streamer, they can send you, or you can obtain the import code, and that can be imported and used for you, which is really cool. I love that. And you can share your UI as well if you want to do that. So you can just share it to the clipboard, and then you can paste it to other people or paste it to yourself. But these layouts that you do save are account-wide. So if I go on another character, the UI here for Dan will be account-wide, and I'll be able to use that on other characters without having to import it or anything like that, which is really nice and really convenient, to be honest. So let's talk about the functionality. So the player frame, as mentioned, is actually resizable. You can make this as big or small as you like, and you can do that also with the target frame as well. So you can make them nice and big if you like that. As you'll see, there is a grid. Now, this grid does have snapping, so if you want to snap it to this particular area, you can do that, so you get it nice and in line, and you can change the size of the grid as well, and it will snap to that particular size of grid. So if you want it really specific, you can do that, and obviously count the squares and get it all kind of just in line and in position really nicely there. And when you do save the UI, you can make a new name for it, and there you go, and you can swap very easily between these new UIs that you've created. Very, very nice, very, very easy, really easy to use. I know a lot of add-ons have had this kind of functionality, but it is really nice to see this coming in default and in World of Warcraft. So obviously there's some things on the screen that you can't see right now, so things like party frames you can change. You can make them big or small, or use the raid style ones if you like, as a lot of people do use, and you can move that wherever you like, or have it horizontal, have it down there if you like, or over here, which is really nice. And as mentioned, you know, there's a bunch of different things. You know, you've got your buff frame you can move, you've got your pet bar you can move, you've got your debuff frame you can move, and again, you can make that as big as you like. You can make it really, really big and make it, you know, have more icons or less icons, or change the size of it, change the direction of it even, and just so many different things you can do. You know, add the time to the top, have it vertical if you really wanted to, and you can change the size of that and put that wherever you want it to be. So much customization with this, and it's so cool. Like, every single bar has its own sort of customization stuff to it. Like the pet bar here, you can make horizontal, and you can make it, you know, small, and make it maybe even square if you wanted to, and put that wherever you like, which is amazing. Raid frames as well, you know, you can do the kind of stuff that you can pretty much do at the moment as well. Cast bar can be moved, the encounter bar can be moved, the extra ability bar can be moved as well. The possess bar, again, can be moved just like that. Arena frames as well, you can take a look at the arena frames, and those can be adjusted. They can be increased or decreased in size. The vehicle exit button, as you can see, can be moved to wherever you like. The boss frame, so this is similar to the arena frame, can be moved to wherever you like once again and resized. The HUD tooltip, so this is when you like mouse over things, that can be moved as well. As you can see, it's kind of like gone up there as I mouse over that. It's just really cool. It's really great. The talking head as well, which is like the world quest thing, you know, where it comes up and it's like, champion, you need to heal the wounds, you know, and that's kind of what that is. And that can be moved wherever you like. But I think like the sharing and things like that is a really cool feature of it. I think that's one of the better features, to be honest. Like being able to just kind of see a UI out there in the world and someone go, right, this is the UI that I have. You can literally use that with a copy paste, and it instantly imports it, instantly changes all your settings, which I think is just super, super great in all honesty. Now, also, I'm sure you're wondering, like, how many action bars can you have? So, recently in a build, literally in the build last night, they added more action bars. So by default, you can actually have 9 action bars in total on your UI. So as you can see, here they all are, and those are obviously movable and customizable as much as any other bar. You can make them square if you want to, you can make them huge if you want to, you can make them have big gaps, you can make them show in and out of combat, which is cool. So if you have bars that you're not going to use while you're in combat, you can make them hide while you're in combat, or if you have bars that you have that you only use while out of combat, you can have that as well as a default option. Now, as mentioned as well, with the griffins down here, those can be removed. So if you hide the art bar, it actually removes the background of the bar as well. As you can see, there's kind of a grey background on the buttons that aren't there, and that hides those. And you can hide the scroll bar as well if you want to do that, and that'll be gone. And that gives you that kind of clean UI that you see a lot of these add-ons kind of using, where they don't have the art bar and things like that. Another thing as well with the map can be moved. Unfortunately, the map can't be resized individually, at least, and as you can see, it's snapping to that. You can move the headers to the bottom if you like, so if you had it down here and you wanted it to look like that, that's something that's perfectly doable, but you cannot resize it individually. If you want to resize the map and things like that, that's something you're going to have to do in the settings in regards to UI scale, which is something that we use right now in WoW, but yeah, if you want to make the map bigger, that's something you're going to have to use to be able to do that, which obviously just kind of messes up everything. So that's obviously a little bit unfortunate there, that is a thing, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, you can't resize individual things. The chat can be resized, though. There is a nice little resize thing there, and they have mentioned before that individual resizing of things like the map and whatnot is something they are looking into, so watch this space. This is obviously the first iteration of the UI, and it's an ongoing project, they said, so we're definitely going to see more of this kind of individual scaling, hopefully less of the UI scale, which obviously does mess up a lot of other things. And as mentioned, there are some things missing, so as you'll see, the XP bar cannot be moved right now. I do have an XP bar right here. Right at the bottom here, this cannot be moved, resized, or done anything like that, unfortunately. And the mini bar and the bag bar cannot be moved either. I think these two things will probably be something that's going to be added very soon, but it doesn't look like they're going to be in pre-patch unless they do another release candidate build before the pre-patch release, which is pretty likely, potentially. So those are just the two kind of main things that can't be moved right now in the UI, but other than that, absolutely everything can be moved and snapped to the grid and moved around and customized, and there's so much you can do, and I really can't wait to see what people do with it. Obviously, you'll notice as well, there is kind of a new kind of feel to the UI as well, or a new design as such. You'll see, like, in these bars here, it's got kind of a grey kind of border to it now, which is definitely different to what you have in retail right now, and you'll see that across the board in pretty much all of the UIs. You have this new kind of border to it, and that's just kind of the look that they're going with, and that obviously goes across with the map and everything like that as well. So one of the major final changes I want to mention about the UI is bags. So you'll see here, first and foremost, there is a new slot for a reagent bag. This is a new type of bag which is coming in Dragonflight. You do get one from one of the quests in Valdrakken, but I believe tailors and things like that will be able to craft them as well, and that'll just be a nice little bag for you to put your reagents, because professions are such an important part of Dragonflight. You'll also notice that the bag is now combined. Yes, similar to an add-on like Bag-On, this is something that is coming by default in World of Warcraft. Now you can change it back. You can put it back to these separate bags if you like, if that's how you like to play, but you can have this combined backpack as default, and that can be obviously sorted and things like that. Really, really cool to see them adding that as a default feature of World of Warcraft. But yeah, as mentioned, you know, if you really like the way that they are right now, you can obviously just change it back, and it's no issues at all. So yeah, bags are getting a pretty major change with the Dragonflight UI. Yeah, there you go, guys. That is the brand new Dragonflight UI, extremely customizable, extremely fun to play around with, and as mentioned, I can't wait to see what people come up with this new UI. Let me know down below what you think of the new UI and the edit mode. Is there anything you feel is missing or should be added? And are you going to be disabling Elf UI or Bartender or things like that in favor of the new UI? I'm curious to know if that's something you're going to be doing. So yeah, there you go, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Before I go, I'd like to give a massive shout out to my amazing patrons, YouTube channel members, and Twitch subs. You guys are awesome. And if you'd like to support the channel in any of those ways, links are down below. So leave a like on this video, guys, if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't. I've also got a partner Discord channel with over 3,000 members. And as I said, I'm now streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me stream World of Warcraft, Dragonflight, Alpha Beta, Wrath of King Classic, any sort of World of Warcraft, I'm over on twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.